Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world and you are tuning in. Thank you so much. This is Jen Sugarmeyer with Higher and Heels, and we are live 5 days a week, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time, talking about things to motivate you, talking about mindset. This is a mindset motivation every single day. So if you could do me a favor, if you could like this, if you could subscribe, and I'd love to hear from you. So drop something in the comments if this is impacting you in some way. Go out to higherandheels.com and contact me and let me know what you want to talk about on the show. And also drop me a note. Let me know how things are going for you. But I would love the support. Subscribing is currency. So thank you so much. This week we are talking about motivation, and let's get real. Sometimes we just don't feel motivated. And last Friday we talked about, just needing rest and being good to our bodies. And that's not necessarily what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about pushing through, just get through it. I'm talking about just general motivation from the day to day. I mean, how do you get through, this project that you don't want to do? Yesterday we were talking about, how do you even get motivated in something where your boss gives you a standard operating procedure that you have to write and you're like, well, this is not something I want to do. How do you get motivated in that? And Monday we talked about just getting out of bed some days. And I'm not talking about the depressed, I don't want to get out of bed, my life. I'm just talking about like, it's Monday, how do I get out of bed kind of thing, and getting motivated. So motivation is such a huge thing. I mean, everything in our life requires some level of motivation, whether it's motivation to get up and use the restroom or motivation to go get a snack. I mean, that's all requires motivation. And I've been so excited for today to talk about, because words matter. They do. What we tell our brains, whether we know it or not, it matters. It matters what we're signaling. And we have our conscious and we have a subconscious. And so becoming aware of this, and it's an art, and it's something that you have to stay up with all the time. I am constantly checking myself, and I will find myself saying words that are counter to even things that we talk about here. I mean, I'm human, you're human, we're all human. And the truth is we get caught in these traps. But once we're aware that we have a different way of saying things, or that we can look at things a different way, or what are the mindset tools that we can pull out and we can apply to whatever we're doing, then we can improve. And it's when you know better, do better. And sometimes, we just get caught in this life and it's so fast and it's just happening that, we just do whatever. And then we catch ourselves and we go, oh my gosh, there's a better way. And so that's all it is. Like, none of us are going to live this life, this perfect life, whatever. And so today I've been super excited because we're going to talk about I have to do something and how we get to turn this around. So think about something that you had to do. We probably say this, and I already said it once here. Like if you went back like a minute, I just caught myself, but I didn't say anything. Have to. Yeah, I have to go to work. Yeah, I have to go to the gym. I have to cook dinner. I have to get up to use the restroom. I have to. And I don't know how many times we say this a day, but I think if we really started paying attention, that we would be saying this all day long. Like, no joke. We're just saying, I have to do this. I have to do this. I have to do this. But what if we started replacing I have to, which sometimes, because it does, it's like, oh, I have to finish this SOP that my boss gave me. I have to finish this deliverable. I have to create this. I have to. And it's like, oh, and it can seem like a mountain that you're climbing. I mean, think about it. Think about some time that you said, I have to. And what were some of the feelings? It's almost like a bunch of rocks that are just placed on top of you. And you're like, oh, I got to climb my way up out of these things. That's how I felt with that process document and that process my boss wanted me to roll out. I mean, I had this whole mobile policy. He was like, go implement a mobile policy and write about it. And I'm like, ugh, I don't want to do this. And I have to do it. It was something I had to get off my plate. I had to do it because it was going to be part of my annual review. And, I don't know. I think we used to get a 0.5% raise at that company. Anyway, whole nother discussion. But, I needed to get it so I could get $1 more in my paycheck a month or week or biweekly or whatever it was. But I always told myself, like, I had to get that thing done. And yeah, if I had replaced it with this one phrase, maybe it would have looked different. So we're going to switch now to I get to. So now I have to go to school. I have to go to the office. I have to go sit in traffic, but I get to. Man, I get to pay my taxes. I get to go to work. I get to clean the house. It sounds different, doesn't it? Like, okay, I know that I changed my tone. It's a little lighter when I used it. I get that. But feel how much lighter that is with you. So whatever it is, think of I have to do something. What's something you have to do today? Think about that. Now, replace that with I get to. And how does that land with you? There's this place of gratitude that it starts to put our brains because we are in a completely different space. What's something you don't like doing? I don't know, probably cleaning the toilets. Like who likes cleaning the toilets? Maybe you do. I don't know. Oh, I have to clean the toilets. Doesn't sound like something that you want to do. It's like you're being made to do it. It's being forced. It doesn't feel good. Like you can't go out and play with your friends until you get your chores done, kind of thing. But what if you get to clean the toilets? It starts to put your mind into that space of gratitude where you can take it further and say things like, wow, some people don't even have toilets. And I'm lucky enough that I get to clean toilets. Now, you may say that, Jen, that's so foolish. Like, I'm never going to go down that route. But the truth is, there are people in this world that do not have toilets to clean. And you do. And you get to clean them. You may just say, yeah, but I still don't want to do this. And that's okay. I'm not saying that just because you get to clean toilets means that you want to, that it's your favorite activity. I'm just talking about what are the simple mindset shifts. This is just a millimeter shift. When we talk about mindset, it's just changing the dial just a little bit. There's nothing about me as a person that changes when I say I have to versus I get to. It's literally that much of a shift in my vernacular, that much of a shift in how I approach saying sentences, talking about situations. There's literally nothing massive that is happening here. It's not like, oh, Jen's a new person. No, take off my cape. I'm now Wonder Woman. No, I just said the word get to instead of have to. It's nothing. But that's what mindset is. Mindset is just like, do you want to look at it this way or do you want to look at it this way? And when we talk about choice and you have the choice of anything that's happening in your life, this is exactly what we're talking about. You can choose to say, I have to do all these things. And it's like someone's forcing you to do it. Or you can be at your own will and have a level of gratitude that comes with it. So I'm grateful for the fact that I get to go to work. I don't wake up in the morning and say, "Oh, I have to do this show." Could you imagine? And then how would you feel? Like every single morning, Jen Sugarmeyer wakes up at 4:45 in the morning. I usually hit the snooze once or so, and my cat comes over and she's like, "Mom, I heard your alarm. Are you awake?" And we just kind of like do this little dance for like 10 minutes or whatever. And then I get out of bed and I start to wrap my head around everything that we're going to talk about here on the show. And that's what I do between 5 and 6 o'clock. This is my morning routine. Could you imagine? I mean, how would you feel if you were like, "Oh, Jen feels forced to do this"? I don't feel forced to do anything. This is something that I get up every day because I want you to be able to have motivation, because I want you to feel like you've got these tools that you can engage in your mind. And then when things are happening throughout the day, you're like, pew, pew, pew. I got this. I got this, world. Yeah. I'm going to bob and weave because my mind is strong. And you start to get intentional about your day and you're like, I'm going to go kick butt. Yeah, I feel great. Boom. That's why we do this every single morning. But if you were like, "Oh man, Jen feels like she has to do this." It feels different for you. You feel like you're this obligation versus somebody, you know, genuinely wanting to do something. Could you imagine your spouse or your significant other? "Oh, I have to hang out with the wife," versus "I get to. I get to hang out with you." Isn't that what you want in a relationship? I mean, if somebody's like, "Oh, Jen, I have to hang out with you." No, you don't. In fact, bye. I don't know. I'm not playing that game because I don't want somebody to feel like they're forced to hang out with me. That's a terrible friendship, relationship, whatever. Nobody. If you feel like I'm an obligation, bye. Uh-uh. I want you to want to hang out with me. I want it to be a privilege. We all should feel this way, not just me. There isn't anything that's like different or special. I'm special. We're all special, but you get what I'm saying. There's nothing that's so special about me that I'm like, you better get to want to hang out with me versus you have to. That every single one of us should feel that way. If somebody's coming up in your space and they're like, "Oh, I have to hang out with you today," be like, "No, you don't. Bye." That's it. We should be holding ourselves to that standard within our own lives, because you see how that feels different when you're talking about like yourself and somebody having to hang out with you. That was a really weird way of saying that. But feeling like they have to hang out with you. And you're like, you know what? You don't have to do anything. You just can go. I want somebody to want to hang out with me. And you should want that too. You should want people to want to be around you, to feel like it's an honor and a privilege that they get to, not that they're required and forced to. That's exactly what this is. But it's becoming aware of it in every single little area of our life and saying, "Oh my gosh, I just said have to." And literally, we say it all the time. I said it here, like minute two. If you go back, it was around minute two. And I said, "Oh, we have to," or "I have to," or I don't, whatever I said. And then I said, "Oh, I caught myself." But that's it. We just catch ourselves and we move on. And when you say things enough, they do start to become more, like you get in flow. Your brain has that neuroplasticity. It just remembers you're in the zone. But even still, and there are some amazing women that I've met on Clubhouse, and they have this room, and it's called, what is it called? Words Matter, or Change Your Words, Change Your World. That's the name of the room. And it's all about how when you change your words, your whole entire world changes. And they are incredible. And these ladies, like one's a PhD, one is not, but she's very well seasoned and fantastic. And even they will catch themselves on the call, and they'll call each other out. "Hey, did you, hey, that word." Sometimes they catch themselves. That's all it is. Like, let's not get down on ourselves when these things happen. It's just being aware. And yeah, you may now change it 80% of the time, 90% of the time. Maybe you're really, really good and your brain just is now all the time like, I get to, I get to, I get to, I get to. But that 5% of the time, you're like, "Oh, I have to do this." Wait, hold on. And then you catch yourself. Like, it's like as soon as you say the words, they come out of your mouth, and then you catch that. And you're like, "Wait, hold on." And then when you start to think about it that way, you'll be like, "Wait, hold on. I get to, okay. I get to go to work today. That means I get to make money, which means I get to pay my bills, which means I get to have maybe some extra cash to shop for myself, or maybe I just get to pay my bills and now I know my bills are paid or whatever. Like you start to think about your world in this bigger way and just how amazing it is and how life is really good. And not everybody is as fortunate as you. That's what I love about gratitude. I mean, literally, some people thought they were going to wake up this morning and they didn't. Some people were on their way home and they didn't make it home. These are real things, y'all. You get to go to work today. That person wanted to, but they didn't get to. They didn't get to. And you're free. You're free. You get to do any of these things. It's just a small mindset shift. That's all it is. And it puts us in gratitude. And we are in a whole nother ball game than I have to do this. It feels like that checklist, which I'm a huge fan of checklists, by the way. In fact, I will put something on a checklist that I've just done. Drop in the comments if you do this too, because I'm curious because I find myself doing this. If I've just done something, I'm like, oh, I need credit for this. So I'll write something that I just did on my to-do list and then I cross it out. Like there's nobody reading my list. Like this is just for me, but it's something about in my brain. Like I want to see it and I want to check it off. I'm huge on that. But when I see my list, sometimes it can be overwhelming, especially if I've overtasked myself. Whew, got a lot to do. That's what have to feels like. It feels heavy. It's those rocks that are like, get yourself out of this one, chick. It's that mountain you have to climb. Have to. I have to do this. I have to find water. I think about being in the desert. I have to find water. Could you imagine if you were in the desert and you were really thirsty and you were like, I get to find water? I mean, you could. I hope you find water if you are at that point where you're just like, I'm in the water. I mean, I'm in the desert. Where's the water? And you're like, wait, hold on. I get to versus have to. I applaud you. I want to hear this story. But the truth is, there is something happening in our subconscious that is going on when it hears, I have to. It's like somebody making you, they're forcing you. It's this mountain you have to climb. It's these rocks that are dumped on you versus I get to do this. I woke up today and I get to nourish my body with water. Some people didn't get to. I live in a free country and I get to put clean water in my body. And y'all, this may seem crazy. You might think, Jen, you're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But you know what? We need to be thinking this way because we are truly grateful to be living in a country. And I don't know where you are. Maybe you're in a country that doesn't have clean water, but you have water. You woke up. I don't know what it is. But we need to always be looking for what we are grateful for in our situation. And when we say get to, that helps us get there. See that? Whatever it is, if you woke up today with breath, you have gratitude. And quite frankly, for those of us that did not wake up today, they got to live up until this point. And not everybody gets to come out of their mother's womb. There's always something that we can be looking at. That's the positive sides of things. And when we get to, that helps our brains get there. So we're going to wrap this up because we're at time today. That felt really good, didn't it? You're going to be like, I have to wait. No, I get to. That's it. Every single time I want you to message me, and I want not every single time that you do this, you have to message me, but I want you to message me when, you feel yourself going from the have tos to get tos and what changes that's made for you. So go to higherinheels.com. I am Jen Sugarmeyer. I would love if you would subscribe, that would mean a lot. And if you would share, that would be the biggest honor of all, because the more we like, the more we subscribe, and the more that we share, the more that we're able to impact people's lives. And that's what this is all about. This is about motivating ourselves in the morning, getting intentional, or in the evening, whenever you feel the desire to watch this, but getting motivated about our day. I am here 6:00 a.m. Central Standard Time every single day. Well, 5 days a week. I'm sleeping on the weekends. But how do we end this? We're coming up. We want the world to know. We're gonna let it show. That's right, ladies, because we're coming up. We want the world to know. We're gonna let it show that we get to do anything we want to do. That's right. Go get to do something. Go get you on. Go get you on. Get you. I think that's a Missy Elliott song. Get you. Whatever. Go get you on. I'll see you here tomorrow. Cheers.